All right, trade folks, 7-Eleven, the deuce, and the nine. Hoover Hay to the culture enthusiasts, the Hoover Knights, the Hoover Collective, and to the people, man. Here we are again, man. It's Thursday, man, Juneteenth. I hope you brothers and sisters recognize what this actually means or what it's about. Black History, man, is not just in the month of February, it's in every month of the calendar year, man. Those are facts. Here we are, like I said, man, Juneteenth, man. Hopefully, brothers are recognizing, sisters are recognizing, and paying, commemoration to this day. Before I get started, let me send out two shouts out, man. First off, to my wife, man, I love you, baby. Um, I already know you tough as rawhide, man. I know better than most, man. The real get down with you, man. They don't come like you. They don't build them like you anymore. So you be all right, man. And I'll see you in a minute. Also, man, I want to send out belated condolences to the homie Vic Nine Deuce Hoover, man. Uh, Laid the homie to rest Tuesday, man. I sat down with a lot of homies from Nine Deuce, all over, homie, from all over sets, man. Reminisced and talked about the loved one, man. He was a good dude, man. He will be missed. Again, our condolences to his family, man, and to the homies from 92nd Street Hoover, man. Um, Appreciate my time with you dudes, man. C. Will, Dude, Popeye for sure. You know what I mean? There's a gang others, man. T Bird, man. Just all you brothers, man. We had a good time, man. I enjoyed my time with you brothers, man. That being said, here we are. Under the groove, man. Touching bases with the people, man. And for those of you who are new to this, don't really understand to get down, man. I do this, man, for the people, man. Uh, if I come on here and talk about something, it's not necessarily what that issue or topic have to be. Y'all got something, man, and it's positive, something that we can dispense to the people, man. Come on in by all means. Let's discuss that. That's why this exists, all right? That said, man, oh man, it was a crazy day today. I'm fortunate to be here right now. Real spit. I'm fortunate to be here right now. 3 hours ago, got into a situation, man, but here I am. So it was meant to be, the gods looking after a brother, man, and I appreciate that. I really do, man, because it could be all bad right now. I could be whatever, but I'm here. And that means a lot, man. I'm supposed to be here. That's why I'm here. So hey man, we're gonna jump into the comments, man. Let's get it going, man. Like I said, man, what I talk about, man, is just some general stuff, man, but it's not, you know, it's not in stone. You know what I mean? You guys can come in, man. You sisters can come in, man, with something on your mind, as long as it's respectful. Let's have that discussion. That's what this is about. Touching bases with the people, man. That don't just mean the Hoover community. It means the community at large, man. Our people. What's happening, James Cash? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You said what's up to all the Hoovers, man. One. OG Bub, much love and respect to you, my brother. Appreciate your knowledge, wisdom, and insight always. You're the reason the rest of us are staying above the ignorance and trying to unite our people. Hey, man, look, for me, man, like I said, I done been through it, man. I done been to hell and back. I've been to hell and back, man. And a lot of brothers and sisters can attest to this, man. We done been through some shit. And for those of us who are here, who are still here, come on, man. You got to see, you have to acknowledge that you're fortunate. You're here for you. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here, and that's not saying that those who are left, who left us, who are gone, that, I'm not speaking nothing ill of them, man, but we are here, man, because that's just the way the design was put into place. We're here for a reason. I hope that I'm living up to that. You know what I mean? I hope that I'm living up to that. Like I said, man, I would like, when my time comes, for my legacy to be something other than, all that negativity I put into it, years and years and years and years back. So again, man, I know right now, I'm here for a reason, because I ain't even have to be here, people. That's the truth. I mean, maybe I'll tell y'all about it. First I got to explain everything to the wife. Like I said, man, I'm just fortunate right now to be here, man. I'm fortunate to be here, and I acknowledge that. For all you who are here coming in, man, look at it the same way. You're here for a reason. You're fortunate, man. Take advantage of that shit, man. Take advantage of it. Don't just waste time we have, man. living on bullshit, you know. So that's it. Let's move on, man. Wild Bunch, Lemon Deuce Hoover. What it do? What it do, hey Bub? How you feel about a new Hoover set? The Young Grooves pushing 9-9 Hoover. You know, like I said, man, that's their thing, man. You know, I just like for the homies to have an understanding of what they doing, man. Is it constructive? You know, hold on. Hold that thought. What up, homie?
What's up?
What it do? What it do? How you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Yeah, man, I feel you, bro. I was just telling the people I'm doing it live right now, PT. So you know, just in case, you know, if you in, you in. If you ain't yet, I'll call you back. So you good? You wanna jump in here?
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, man, look, again, here we go, man. Another one of our people, man. One of our pillars. It's a pretty Tony, man. Trey Hoover, man. He just called me up, man. He's in on the get down, people. So just so y'all know, he's in on the conversation. And like I said, when I come on here, man, I'm just talking about things in general. When brothers like this call, I want to give them the floor, man. You know, I want to let them, you know, voice their opinions, man. Speak truth to knowledge, truth to power, man. That's what this is about. You know, so PT is on the line with us, people, just so y'all know. Again, as always, you know, I'll be remiss not to say this every chance, every opportunity I have. Always be respectful. Consider what you're saying, man, so that those who are gonna respond, they're not putting no trick bag, man. We're not doing none of that, all right? So there it is, man. PT, what it do, bro?
Oh man, I can't complain, man. Living is good enough for me. You know?
Amen. I can dig it. I can dig it.
Just trying to stay positive, constructive, man, and move forward on that line. You know.
Yeah.
Try to stand on my square.
Yeah, bro.
I don't stand on business. I stand on my square.
Yes, sir.
360 degrees.
What's the difference? What's the difference between standing on your square and standing on business?
So, I mean, standing on square to me is more of a spiritual thing, you know?
All right.
And where you stand in relations to the universe.
Okay, yeah.
You know, the terminology nowadays that a lot of people use, like stand on business. You know, we used to say stand on business a long, long time ago.
Right.
And you know, these terminologies and linguistics that they have nowadays, man, is more like, you know, it's just, you know, a fad that people run with, you know, with this terminology.
All right. Some trend type shit.
Yeah, I look at it from that perspective. You know, I don't say stand on business because I always stood on business anyway. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So stand on the square just means an elevation in spirituality.
Yeah, you standing on your square. You know what I'm saying? You got to move along that line. You got to abide and adhere to that. You know, those are principles, ethics, and morals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I say people got to know where they stand in relation to the universe. And being that today is Juneteenth, you know, that I think that kind of, you know, that melds with what you just said, man. You know, there's a spiritual connection to that, man. It's more than just history. You know, exactly.
Our people, man, you know, back then the shit they was going through, they had to be on some type of spiritual plane, of outlook, a square to get as far as they got, man, during those times. So I can relate to that, man. That's deep. That's deep.
Right there.
Yeah, that is deep. Hey, man, you know, and just so you know, PT, you know, this thing, man, it be lighting up, man. The people is in here, man. And I got all kind of comments in the chat. And, you know, I'm pretty sure if somebody want to hit you up and have something to say to you, you know, and if you okay with that, man, then, you know, I'll get started, bro.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. I was just telling them, man, about, you know, I had a situation today, man, when I had called you. Hey, man, you know, yeah. I'm standing on this square, homie. I'm fortunate, homie. Yeah. I'm telling you, homie, because right now I don't even have to. I could be somewhere else dead right now.
That's right.
Right now, bro. You know, just based on some shit that happened in the last 3 hours. But here I am, homie.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm telling you, man, that's the square I'm on. You know,
that's right.
I think whatever it was, man, that had my back. You know what I mean? And I have to say, to a large extent, man, I kind of lost my cool. You know, I kind of lost my cool. And as I'm sitting up going through this situation, my inner self was saying, hey, man, you tripping. You tripping, man. You know what's down this road, bro. Kick back, let it go. And for the life of me, man, well, I'm here, man, but just I don't know, man. I almost like I spazzed out, like fuck it, let's crash. But here I am, man, and I was telling people it's meant to be. I'm supposed to be here, so I'm grateful for that. And in the future, man, I just gotta, I can't lose it. I can't lose, man.
That's why I say, bro, standing on your square.
Yeah.
Because when you get out of character and you're not abiding by the things that you set forth in your life.
Yeah.
And you let people, let certain situations or circumstances, man. That's what I'm talking about when you get pushed off your square. You got to jump right. You got to jump right back on it and keep on pushing.
Yeah, stay on that square, man. Stay on that square. I hear you, bro. I'm telling you, after the fact, as I was able to just groove away from the situation, I knew, man, come on, man, we can't do this no more, bro. Can't do this no more, man, because it might not end like that next time,
That part.
But so we got some brothers, man. I want to read a couple of comments, man, and some of them, like I say, the brothers tap in, the sisters tap in too, and I appreciate, when they come into the chat. Ain't no BS, man. Brothers, spitting what they spit, man. It is what it is, and I appreciate it. But anyway, Wild Bunch, man, Lemon Deuce Hoover say, Bub, how do you feel about a new Hoover set? The Young Grooves pushing 9-9 Hoover. And I was about to say before you called, PT, I would say, man, it's them dudes' time, I really have, no opinion about that, and I say that, man, purposely. You know what I mean? I say that purposely. That's not, that's not my square. As you were saying, bro, that's not my square, bro. But now if I, want to have an opinion, my opinion is this, man. You brothers, man, just look at what's come before, man. And all you got to do is analyze this shit, man. If you're going to create something, man, create it for the better. For the better. You know what I mean? Don't, this shit been done and done and done again and again and again. It has to be something new to the get down, man. And I think that's important. If you're going to do some stuff, bring something new to the get down. Create squares, like brother said, man, to where there's spirituality connected to this shit, connected to this get down or your get down or whatever get down you want to, create that's going to bring positivity and growth, to those, involved and those around them, man. Just think about that, man.
Me myself personally on something like that.
Yeah.
I understand the demographics of the gang culture and politics in 2025.
Right.
And I concur with you, man, because I'm not really, I don't have no opinion on that.
Right.
I mean, these cats, like you said, if you're gonna create something, man, create it for the better, and not
create it for the better, man.
Something that's detrimental to the community. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Like you said, we didn't all seen it, man, over the last 40, 50, 60 many years, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same old thing, man, and we got to break out of that, man, and come with something new.
Real spit.
Well, like a lot of guys ask me, they was like, well, if you don't gangbang anymore, why do you still represent Hoover? I said, because if I'm trying to get in my community on some positive, constructive, I can't go to my community and say, well, I'm not about that no more. I'm not from Hoover. I don't represent that. And I'll come with something else. They gonna still lend their ear to me if I'm still standing strong on my word as far as the community is concerned. You feel me?
Yeah. That makes all sense in the world. Like I said, man, for me, if I'm having an opinion on it, my opinion is, like I said, look at the blueprint, man, what came before you guys. And if you're going to build something or you're going to create something, don't use that blueprint, bro.
Get for it.
Real shit. I'm solid shit, bro.
You got to start working outside the box.
Come on, man. You got to go outside the box, man. It's easy to fall in step. It's easy to fall in step, toe to kill. But I'm telling you, man, the shit that's difficult, the shit that means something, the shit that's positive, that's concrete, that creates growth and prosperity, that's the hard shit because you got to put work in for that. The shit now, that's man, right. It's just easy. You can say, okay, I'm going to start 9-9 Hoovers. That's easy. It's easy. So, my suggestion is, hey, man, look into yourselves, man, and ask yourselves, what do you really want not just for you, but for that community, you know, for the people in that community. You know what I mean? How will it serve them? You know, I think that's important, homie. That's some real shit.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, just click and say HIP to Vic 9 Deuce Hoover, man. Likewise, bro. HIP. Lisa Moore, hey, big bro.
That was the homie right there,
yeah.
Man. Like they on Colton upstairs in the Golden Promise.
Man, the stories. We were at the gathering, man, the celebration for you know his passing, you know, going on to the next level. And they spoke about Colton and how Vic was on Colton, how he was a pillar on Colton. You know, and how he kept him safe, how he loved him, and everybody knew him, looked out for him. Hey, man, you know, that's some shit. See, that outweighs all the other shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
That outweighs, see, that's part of his legacy. That's a part of his legacy that's, you know, it's not only, it's going to, you know, remain a part of his history. People going to remember for a long time to come, but it's his legacy. You know, it's something that he left behind, and hopefully other cats, young women and men will pick that up and be the same way, man. You know, protect, you know, look out for, you know, and support, help grow the community, give it growth and prosperity. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. So yeah, we're gonna miss Vic, man.
Sure not.
We're gonna miss him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Mr. Fantastic, what's up, man? He said, what's up, Big Bud? What's happening, homie? How you doing, man? And I tell you this every day, man. Well, every time I do the lives, Mr. Fantastic, hit us with something profound. Hit us with something profound. Let's have a discussion, man. What's on your mind, man? Especially concerning, again, not just the Hoover community, but the community at large, man. What do you see? You know what I mean? How does, you know, the community affect your everyday life and those you love, man? What can you impart to the community, man, to bring something better, not just to your table, but to the tables around you, you know, other people around you. You know what I mean? LK Miller, man, what's happening, man? What's up with you, bro? Everything's everything on this end, man. Jarius Daniel said, I appreciate your channel. Make sure you continue to leave your impact in the world daily, no matter how big or small. Just sending you some positive vibes. Salute to you from Texarkana, Arkansas. All right, man. Texarkana, Arkansas, tapping in. I appreciate that, Jarius. Yeah, that's some positivity, man. That's something that the people can walk away with, man. If they read the shit, you know, lock it in, man. No matter how big or small, man, do your part. Scully Blue. All right, Scully Blue, man. Scully Blue said, what you think about the 5 Deuce Hoover Crip gang in Texas? Again, homie, you know, my opinion, you know, ain't gonna matter much because I'm really not in that, I'm not in that lane like that. You feel me? Again, here's a situation where brothers, man, just got to figure out, man, not how to go about shit, you know, in such a way to where it's creating controversy and conflict. You know, brothers got to get together, man, and understand, man, okay, if this is not just a collective, but a community, we got to learn how to, you know, live in this community together, man, make it grow, do what we need to do for the community. You know, all this other stuff, man, it just creates situations, man, that ain't gonna do nobody any good, man. That's my opinion. That's my take on it.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
What was his question?
His question is, what do you think about the 5 Deuce Hoover Crip gang in Texas? And I think that's addressing the shit that's been going on last few weeks with the brothers that came down from what's the brother name in Texas, man?
Talking about Solo and Real Tune.
Yeah,
Bolo, what is his name? Big Bolo.
Yeah, I saw that interview as well. But no, but before him, the brother OG Percy.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's what really started this whole controversial thing.
Yeah,
you know, and then the homies from 9 Deuce did an interview also speaking on that. You know what I mean? That's what got this thing started. And I'm telling y'all, man, these are non-issues. These are non-issues, man. But when you peck at them and you continue to, you know, kick them around and shit, they become, you know, issues.
Yeah.
They non-issues, man.
I know one thing. I've been out here in Houston for 18 months.
Yeah.
And I think most of the guys that are claiming ACG are from Fort Worth, Dallas. Because most of the guys in Houston, they HGCs.
All right.
I kick it with a few of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
I done been to their functions before, and they gave me the utmost respect.
Right.
You know, I ran the protocol and the script down. You know, this is how you do things nowadays. You can't do things like back in the old days because it's not the old days.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right. We're in a new time and era, man. One thing I appreciate though from the interview I saw the other day with the other two brothers, and excuse me, brothers, your name slipped my mind right now, but you guys said something profound and I appreciate it. It said, man, you guys said no matter what nobody think outside of you guys' get down, there's no funk. You know, you all from, one community. You all, y'all know the business. Y'all know the script. It ain't nothing but love. And not only that, y'all spreaded that love to Damus and Bloods. That's what you guys said. And so, just hearing that, I appreciate it. So, hey, man, stick to the script. The script should be positivity, man. The script should be about growth, prosperity, you know what I mean? Well-being, protection, one another. That's it. That's it. That's all.
Not being stagnant and going backwards.
There you go, man. Like I say, see this script that a lot of cats is on. This is an old script. This shit been done time and time and again. We need, or there is a need for a new get down, a new understanding, man, about your community, man, about yourselves in your community. That's just my take on it, bro.
Yeah, we need a new infusion of ideology and things of that nature.
Yeah.
We need new bright ideas.
Yeah.
And things that we can bring to the bargaining table and sit down with other communities and collectively agree to do something positive, constructive for our communities instead of tearing them down. Because I'm 7 years old, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else in so much as black on black crime.
Right.
But one thing I can say of all the time, juvenile hall to the penitentiary wire and all that, I never went to jail for doing anything against another black person.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. But I'm not saying that I'm not guilty. I'm guilty of selling dope. I'm guilty of throwing bullets. I'm guilty of fighting. I'm guilty of I was guilty of counterproductive stuff.
Right.
But that's not the lane I'm moving in nowadays. That's why I've been out the pen 10 years. Because like I tell people, I'm still the same person I always been.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I just make better decisions for my life now.
Yeah. You just said some of that solid shit though, always, man. You do that. I know you'd always be that speak truth to power. You were saying something just now, and I thought while you were saying it, had I known back then, and this saying is so old, it's trite. I mean, man, had I known back then everything I know now, ain't no way, bro.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way I've been caught up in that BS like that, bro.
But then again, it goes deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Because of the indoctrination that we lived up under. What we going to school.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me go back even a little further. Last week I was sitting up watching a documentary on the Third Reich, Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
And I seen the move that they put down. What they did, all them kids, babies, they came out. And they were between the ages of 2 and 5. They indoctrinated them with what they ideology
with
was.
their ideology and culture.
And they fed them kids that all their life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you sit up and tell me something about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and stuff like that. I mean, come on.
That's what you're gonna believe. That's what you get. I hear you. As opposed to
because look, a lot of us when we grew up confused.
Yeah.
Because one thing you guys say one thing on one hand, but then you say something else on the other hand.
Contradictory.
And you wonder why these kids grow up to do certain things that they do. Because me myself. When I started going to Youth Authority and the pen and started reading all these books and stuff, I was like, God damn.
Man.
They using the same tricks on us that they've been using on everybody.
Man.
Since they came into power. So it's the indoctrination, man. Once you find your way, But once a person gets for 14, 15 years old, they're not trying to hear nothing from nobody.
Yeah, after they've been in it 4 or 5 years already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's harder to reach them.
But this mass indoctrination, man, how they brainwashed us and have us living up on a social system that was not constructed for us. It was a system that was specifically designed to hold us back and keep us down. And the education system, the system was set up and designed to produce generation after generation of illiterate blacks.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
Straight up, bro.
Yeah. I remember reading somewhere they say, and this wasn't too long ago, maybe a year or so ago, the saying went, relearn everything you learned. Relearn it. In other words, go back, man, and start from the beginning again, but learn more, you know, in that respect than you did back then, you know? So, you know, it's a matter of relearning, you know what I'm saying? Not the same shit, but just some more, you know, open it up, you know, going outside the box in terms of giving yourself knowledge and understanding about what's going on, not just in the world, but with you, your people, and, you know, all that matters, you know what I'm saying? So that makes sense.
And to fall back on what you just said about relearning something, if you fall back on like Malcolm, the rest of them guys said, man, they just talk about re-education.
Re-education.
You know what I'm saying? Because we've been miseducated as a people.
Real spit.
So
Yeah.
you know, we have to be re-educated.
Yeah.
And then one of the most afflicting things that afflicts black people, man, especially in the Western Hemisphere, is that we're spiritually dead.
Man, that's
You
true.
know, we're spiritually dead. And you can't get and we're spiritual people.
Mhm.
So if we're
Yeah, by
spiritually
nature.
dead, then
By nature.
if we're spiritually dead, and then you look around the United States and see what's going on in Chicago and in Alabama and California and Texas and
Yeah.
all these places, man, all the stuff that's going on, and I mean, it's just straight madness, man. So many things. Like I tell people, man, we were better off. Even people talk about the '60s. We was better off in the '60s than we are now because we didn't have as many things afflicting us as a people.
That's right.
We talking about teenage pregnancy.
That's
We
right.
talking about single parent homes.
Yeah.
We talking about suicide rate. We talking about mass incarceration. All
Health
that,
issues.
drug
All
addiction,
that shit. Yeah.
gang
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah.
You know, look at all the things that they keep all these things, man, is in our way.
See, that reminds me of a book, Carter G. Wilson. Well, I forgot who wrote the book, but it's called The Miseducation
Miseducation
of
of
the
a black
Negro.
man.
Of the black
Of
man.
the Negro, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
That was Carter G. Wilson.
Hey man, that's a cold book. And it speaks to everything you're talking about. And this shit is done purposely. It's done purposely.
Mhm.
You know, and when I be trying to enlighten brothers,
It's
Go
set
ahead.
up and designed to function the way it functions.
that's it. It's a system. It's a system that's in place, and we are in the system, man, knee deep. Hey man, when I be trying to talk to brothers, I be saying, hey man, look, man, we are in dire straits.
Man.
You know, and you just said a few minutes ago, man, you are culpable. You were a part of the problem at some point.
Uh-huh.
And that's the first thing I
Exactly.
acknowledge. I say, man, I was part of the problem, man. I'm you know, I did things that you said, you know, I done some things that wasn't cool, you know,
Yeah.
and I realize that now, man. But I realized also, as a result of that, what it did was set a precedent with other people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I could, you know, I helped promote this get out, this system.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and as a result of my miseducation, you know, like I said, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and all that. But hey, man, they wasn't telling us nothing about our ancestors and how great they were, you know, gods that they were. You know what I'm saying? That's, come on, man. That's purposely left out for a reason, you know. But hey, man.
Like this thing they used to have going around in my early days in the pen. They had a book that was called Blackout Through Whitewash.
Yeah.
You know, they whitewashed everything, you know.
Uh-huh. Better believe it.
And some more good books to read, man, by this sister Frances Cress Wilson.
Oh yeah, she's tight.
That sister was deep.
Yeah, she's tight.
She's deep.
Yeah.
She's deep, you know.
Let me get on this right here, though. This Voodoo, bro. Voodoo send much love, man. Respect, Big Bubs. Always dropping gems. I hear you, bro. How you doing, man? I hope you well, man. All right. Hope you well, man.
Likewise, Voodoo.
Yeah. You know, that's our people. That's fam. He said, inspiring to loved ones to lock in and focus on matters, principles, standards, and togetherness. Solid spirit, man.
Yep,
Solid spirit. You know. So we get one from Sweeveport, man. BWF II. Love from West Sweeveport, Pines Road, Jefferson Page Road. Stay up, Big Bub. All right, likewise, bro. Y'all stay up, man. Do what need to be done. Get it done right, man. Don't Mr. BS, man. You know, all them muscles and all that you represent that for real. Where that muscle up here, exercise that thing, man. Put it to work. You brothers down there, man, y'all in the thick of things too, man. This shit just spread it all over the country, man. And it ain't beneficial to none of us. Real spit.
None.
Cleveland Ross, what's up, bro? Always, man. You're a mainstay, and I appreciate you coming, man, every time. Much love, bud. Keep the Hoover story going, bro.
Who was that little red?
Yeah. He said, this is the realest knowledge on the internet, man. Appreciate that, bro. And speaking of Lil Red from Salo, man, hey, look, Dirty Red, man, I always enjoy your company, homie. You're a real one. I always enjoy your company, man. Just thinking about you, man. Think about Lil Red. I think about Dirty Red also.
Yeah.
Much love.
Dirty.
Yeah, man. Dirty Red, a real one. So is Lil Red, man. Hey, man, take care of yourself, bro. I'm here, man. Hit us with something, man. Hit us with one of them questions, man. We got PT on the Get Down, people. Like, subscribe, and share to this live, all right? Like, share, and subscribe to this live, people. Just click and say standing on square is a Mason term. I use it also. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Standing on a square is a Mason term.
Yeah, but they got that from us, though.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's also a part of our ancestry, our history.
Exactly,
real shit.
Because what they doing, and what they've been doing, they've been using our sciences against us.
That's right.
Period.
That's the truth. Man, I got one right here, PT, and this your call, man. I want to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you anyway, and you know, because I know better. They don't, but I do. Wild Bunch from Lemon Deuce Hoover say, I want PT and Rockhead to squash the beef. Two OGs who pushed the line with this Cripism, I guess he's saying. You want to address that? I already know to Get Down, bro. You know what I mean? You ain't got no,
Yeah, I don't have any personal animosity against Rockhead.
That's right.
At that time, when I made that statement, you know, my dandruff was up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I don't have nothing against that brother personally, man. And if he's listening, man, and Rockhead, if you feel offended or feel I disrespect you in any fashion or form, I apologize as a man, bro.
Man.
Because
man.
I was in my feelings that night. You know what I'm saying? In regards to, the Rockhead situation. But I don't have anything against that brother. Man, that brother always been cool.
There it is there. And I fuck with Rockhead too, bro. You know what I mean? My nieces are his babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ain't nothing but love and respect there, man. Real spit.
Yeah, straight up. Because I'm like this, man. If I'm wrong, or I said something wrong, or out of line to anybody, I'm a man about mine. And I apologize, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what a man does. You know what I mean? I don't have to put on any fake what they call it fake airs for anybody. I know who I am, and like I said, I know where I stand in relation to the universe, man. My feet is flat on the ground.
There it is. I mean, shit, you can't put it no better than that. And Rockhead type into Rockhead, you brothers are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we know, like I said, I already knew the answer to Get Down, and it's good that this brother know now. So that's not something that we got even addressed anymore,
Yeah, exactly.
That's water under the bridge. And, the homie said what he said, man, and you got to appreciate it and respect it, That's what that is. So we got a young brother, L, says, I have a question, OG. Hold on, Voodoo first. Voodoo said, Voodoo be sending shots out to you like a big dog, bro. OG PT, much love and respect, man. That's from Voodoo PT.
All the time.
Yeah. But L said, I have a question, and I'm not from Los Angeles. What made Hoover so groundbreaking in the world of street organizations? First, let me correct you. Before PT answer that, hold on, PT. And I'll be the first to tell you, we're not no organization, homie. Just by definition, that's that ain't cool. We're not an organization. We're a community. We are a community, man. That's it. That's all. Now, if you want to address that, PT, that's on you.
Yeah, from my perspective, we were trendsetters, and most of the first three Hoover sets, the 7 fours, 8 trays, and 9 deuces.
Right.
we had all-star lineups. I'm not trying to be braggadocious or concede anything that has
Right.
We had cats from the east side. I was off the east side. You had cats from the west side. You know, we collaborated, came together to start those first little Hoover sets, and we had some stomp down dudes. You know, we had some stomp down dudes, and not only that, before the formation, really in '73 of various gangs coming out and having their own little blocks and cliques, etc. You know, when it was East Side, West Side, Compton, everybody knew each other.
Right.
Everybody knew each other. Everybody partied in Compton. Everybody partied on the East Side. Everybody partied on the West Side.
Yeah.
So most of us cats, man, we didn't have any beefs. The beefs came later on in the game.
That's true.
You know, because when a lot of these Crips beef started, a lot of us was in youth authority or the penitentiary.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah. You guys' generation were removed when all that started. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, and like anybody, not to get off subject, but anybody that knows me or know my background, I'm talking about as far as the Crips concerned, or the Mexicans or white dudes that I went to juvenile hall to the pen with speaking basically on the Crips and the Bloods that know me. They know what type of cat I am. Yeah. They know and the Crips, they all knew that I wasn't no set tripper. I didn't go for that.
Right.
I wasn't with the divide and conquer.
Right.
I wanted us to stay solid as one collective, one entity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but things happen. And things happen.
Okay. Well, he goes on to say there's in addition to his question, it's a little further. It reads, L says it seems like from the stories I'm being told, the Hoovers were the only organization that realized they had to stay together, while everybody else was hurting each other. That was his statement.
No, I can't agree with that because, like I said, in the early 70s, and when I speak of the early 70s, I'm talking about from 69 to maybe 75 or 76. Most Crips, if they were from different sets, they were still together.
That's right.
The Hoovers weren't the only ones together. All these Crip sets were together. I mean, we all have internal conflicts and beef. Brothers fight amongst brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we weren't the only ones that just stuck together. A lot of these Crips sets stuck together. That's why a lot of them are still around right now today.
There it is. Yeah, and I hope y'all heard that. And then that take on it, man, was concrete. Because that's some true shit. This shit didn't start to, I think, 77, late 77, 78. When things begin to change, man. But again, now you have to understand why that took place or how that was able to evolve the way it did. And it was based on, at that time, Team 29 was in full effect. And brothers was getting swept, took off the streets left and right. Reputable individuals, dudes who were solid, like PT said, was about unity. Okay, you could have been from the east side, the west side, Compton, whatever, but there was still unity. Everybody knew everybody. But once they went and got these individuals, guess what? There was nobody there, part of that foundation to keep shit, tight, keep it right, So now you had a lot of youngsters, man, with no guidance.
Exactly, and that's one thing I see a lot about when people ask questions in regards to the Crips or whatever Crips. They always ask, well, why the big homies didn't? People got to understand. We started going to. I went to White when I was 15. I didn't get out till I was 18. I only stayed out 90 days and went to the pen.
Man,
I didn't get out the pen to 79. I only stayed out 2 months. Cause some robberies, went back to the pen.
Man,
in regards to that, like when I was in YTS in 1975, it was a who's who of Crips up there. I'm talking about all the big time Crips from all the East Side, West Side Compton was up there. So all that leadership was taken off the streets. And then most of the cats went through the same revelation I did, got out, went back out in the streets, gang banging, cripping, robbing, stealing, selling dope, or whatever the case. So we was in and out. We was caught up with that the recidivism rate, in and out. So like a lot of these young cats, they didn't have no understanding, no guidance, direction. Now some of the other younger cats that came up after us, they came to the pen. That's when they got laced.
That's when we got laced.
That's when they got laced, and then they was like, damn, that ain't what the homies, was. They had us moving. They had us moving. They had us, See, a lot of these dudes that was still out there on the streets that had influence over their particular sets or particular homeboys in they set.
Mm-hmm.
They use these guys, man, for their own well-being.
For their own
They were
benefit.
seeking
Yeah.
for their own benefit. They seeking vainglory. They want to be known as a big shot, this and that, the third, instead of lacing these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Because these dudes that had influence, they wasn't no dummies. Because what they was doing, they was mentally manipulating these cats.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me ask you something, PT, and this is just your opinion, or it might be fact coming from you, but these said individuals that were left behind, you know, as part of the rapture or the sweep that took place, were they reputable before the sweep of the major sweep and major individuals were taken from the streets?
Yeah, these guys were reputable.
They were reputable.
Everybody that started going in and out of jail, YA and juvenile hall and county,
Yeah.
They was all reputable.
No. I mean, after the fact, after all you guys, y'all all up in YA together, prison together, but the guys that were left behind that didn't get caught up in the rapture were these guys, you know, who are now manipulating the youngsters to do a lot of foul shit against the code or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Were they reputable cats?
Some of them was and some of them wasn't.
All right.
I put it that way. Some of them was and some of them wasn't. But like I said, when I was in TS in 75, I went to Nellis in 73, and I got shipped out to TS in 75. And when I got up there, man, everybody was up there. And also from what later became the blood sets, all them guys was up there. Peabody, LB, Lil Vince, all them cats was up there, man.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, hey, back to the comments, man, the chat, man. Mr. Fantastic say, man, I wish we had unity amongst each other. We are great people who have done great things in the past, and I believe we can do great things in the present and future. I concede that. I'm with that. I hear you, bro. I'm with you on that. But you know that again, man, that's work. You know, we got to be willing to do the work to get to what you're talking about, man, today and tomorrow. You know, in order for us to prosper, you know, continue on. Because at this rate, man, you know, I'm pretty sure there's a think tank, or there's already been think tanks that say, man, by this date or this decade, we will have decimated, or that community or those people will have decimated themselves. You know, and we ain't got to do much, you know, by such and such a date, you know. But to avoid that, to not find not our children, but our grandchildren and great-grandchildren in that predicament, there's a lot of work need to be done, man. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. You know, that's a fact, man. Michael Morris say, what you think about 607, what he said on No Jumper? I'm not familiar with 607, man. And like I said last week, I just now, one of the homies got at me about, I promise you, man, maybe 2 weeks ago. He said, Bub, start watching these bullshit podcasters, though. Just watch them to learn shit and understand how these dudes getting down. So, you know, little by little, man, you know, I delve into them. You know what I mean? I'm not familiar with 607, but I'm familiar with No Jumper. I know No Jumper is a detriment to our communities. That's a fact. You know, but whoever 607 is, man, I'm gonna have to go, you know, and check it out, man, and you know, understand what he is and what he about, man, what he said. You know,
I watched him, Bub. I watched the interview.
What's up with him? I don't know him.
Well, he seems like another one of these dudes that's on social media, bro, trying to clout chase, man.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
That's what a lot of these dudes, you know, because you know, when we coming up, wasn't no social media or anything that aspect. You made your name in the streets.
That's
you made
right.
your name in the streets, not on no social media site. You know, and I think he did that just for clout. Now, I really think if it was another Damu on there and he said that, it would have been on and cracking.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said it. They said it like a couple times. I mean, come on, bro. He apologized, but still, though, the things that come off your tongue, man, can be very, very disheartening and detrimental to somebody else's psyche or whatever the case may be. Come on.
And again, you can't unring a bell, bro. You know, you know what something said. You know, that's what it is. I was talking to somebody again, man, and I tell you, I try to communicate with loved ones from all over, and he had this to say. His thought about reputations of individuals, notable cats or whatever. He said, man, they did the things they did, but they weren't the ones to build a reputation. It was the people around them
that made that reputation what it was, you know, based on whatever it was or however they were. You agree with that?
I really don't understand the question.
So he was saying that individuals don't necessarily make their reputation. He was saying that the dudes that do shit and people see the shit they're doing, they're the ones who create the reputation of the individual. You get what I mean?
Yeah, but I disagree with that because my reputation, I got my reputation in the streets.
All right.
I didn't get my reputation from anybody else. I got my reputation from being out there in the streets squabbling and doing what I do.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
over the years, I started off as a foot soldier.
yes, sir.
And I sat down
Yes,
and listened
sir.
to all my big homies. When we was around the big homies, we kept our mouth closed and our ears and eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And that's all. And they taught us certain things. You know what I mean? To move. See, a lot of people just think that when we was in the gang and this, that. No, you had some very intelligent, articulate dudes, man, that were extremely smart and intelligent.
That's right.
And they laced us. That's why I'm still here. That's why I was able to go through these stoops, man, and be able to do the things that I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I started off as a foot soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And we talking about going through the whole, you know, it's levels to this shit, like everybody say.
That's right.
You know, everybody you can't just get into something, you know, because you're a 5-star general. It don't work like that.
Yeah.
And that's why that's one thing I always said about the younger homies is that I used to always tell people, look, man, these young dudes, you got to treat these dudes right because they the ones gonna keep you propped up.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? They the ones gonna keep you propped up.
Hello.
And that's why you be having like for different. Take for instance, a government or a country being overthrown or a coup being instituted up under that regime or whatever the case may be. Is because you're not treating the people right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to treat these cats right, man.
All right. Now, on the basis of reputation, and I think I kind of got what the brother was saying to me, and I don't know if I expressed it, you know, in such a way that where you grasping what I'm saying. Based on, like you said, you know, whatever your endeavors were, however you carried yourself as an individual when you came up cripping, that was exposed. People observed that, you know, and as a matter of fact, they would take it to the next person and say, man, PT, woo, woo, you know what I'm saying? And that's what he meant by that. You know, you doing something. So your reputation is built upon those who spread it, you know, spread your endeavors or spread, you know, your acts or whatever the case may be, you know. That's he was saying that's how reputations are built. Yeah, they're built by the individual. The individual commit or do the things he do. But it's the people who see it that spread it. They create, you know what I'm saying? So I was wondering.
I got you.
It made a lot of sense to me. It made a lot of sense to me. But like you just said, I concur in that growing up, I was a foot soldier first, you know? And the only way I was able to grow or evolve was you be a foot soldier, you know, taking my lessons, understanding, observing, learning, you know. You know, and I have to say to some extent, some of the shit I done, I wouldn't have talked about it to somebody, but somebody saw it and said, hey, man, he did. And, you know, next day I'm pulling up, hey, man, what the fuck? You crazy as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I kind of get what he was saying. I do. I kind of get what he was saying.
I get it now. I get it now.
Yeah.
I get where he was coming from.
Yeah, man. And, you know, I don't know, man. But again, we're living in a time where, you know, that's what we're dealing with now. You know, when we're dealing with individuals with these podcasters or with this medium or this social media thing where they can say a whole lot of shit and it could be outrageous, but it's said in such a way that somebody hear it and they go spread it to somebody else. Next thing you know, this dude's a king. You know, he's a figure. He's, you know, and he ain't really got no strike. He ain't, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Hey, because a lot of these cats that to be on these podcasts and social media, I be in the streets, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these cats I've never even heard of before.
Hey.
Then all of a sudden now you some big shot dude.
You the guy, you know, you the guy.
Come on now, but you get that through social media.
That's it. Not through no real life, you know. See, because here's the thing, and this is just my take on it. You couldn't be that figure, that king, and with the business like that, and you still on social media.
Exactly.
You know, I'm telling you, man, it don't jibe. It really don't. You could be on social media talking a gang of shit, but that don't mean that you're in the streets and you just do like that. You know,
Exactly.
they don't, man. It don't fit. If
Sure
the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Anyway, hey man, hey, what's up with it, Boss Claus? Peace to you, brother. Peace to you, man. How you been, man? Like I said, man, me and the wife, we're waiting to see you and the wife, man, to hang out. Let's break bread, man. Chop it up like we do, man. BWFI says conflict resolution for us, bub. Yeah. You know what, man? I had to take that shit in prison to get out of prison. You know, that was one of the requirements. Conflict resolution. And you couldn't just take one course. You had to take that shit for years. You know what I mean? Just to satisfy them people. But man, it failed me today, man. Damn. I have to say it failed me. I failed it. Let me put it like that. I failed it, man. I failed, man. I get an F-. I get a fucking F- for that shit, man. Cause like I say, man, just to be able to talk to PT right now and then sit up and, look at the chat with you brothers, I'm fortunate to be here, man. This is crazy. Yeah, man. King Son says, check out the book by Amos Wilson, The Blueprint for Black Power. I'm going to check that out, man.
Do we say Amos Wilson?
Yeah. The
All
Blueprint
right.
for Black Power. Another one said, King Son said Elijah Muhammad book, Message to the Black Man. I read that book. Pretty good book.
That was like my first went to the pen or NYA.
Yeah.
That was required. That was required reading.
That was required reading. Yeah.
Books by the Black Panthers.
Man.
George Jackson. Chancellor
Muslims.
Williams,
Yeah. All that shit was required.
Ivan von Sertimer.
Yeah.
All of them. That was all required reading.
Hey, PT, speak to the people about quiet period, man.
A quiet period, when we was in San Quentin, a quiet period was because we was in the hole, so we only went to the yard once every 3 days. So
Wow.
the days that we didn't go to the yard, after we ate breakfast and exercise, and they would start showers, and we would institute a quiet period. And the quiet period that, no yelling over the chair, you be in your cell studying, whatever studies that was presented to you, or whatever book that was presented to you, you read that, and that would be our study period. Quiet period is our study period.
And so that purpose.
We might have a quiet period for probably an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. Brothers in their cell studying and learning Swahili. The different things like that.
And the purpose of it was to educate ourselves. The purpose of it was to educate yourself, right?
That's right. Yep.
All right.
Education. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we was speaking on earlier. When you start reading things, you be like, "Damn, man, they never taught me this in school. Damn, I didn't know this. I didn't know that." Because what you're doing, you re-educating yourself.
You re-educating. You relearning some new shit. And
Exactly.
I suggested a couple of weeks ago that even for the young ones in the streets, man, that get up in the morning, they go do what they do. Before you do it, man, take 30 minutes. Take 30 minutes. Let's start with 30 minutes. Pick up a book. Read something, man, about yourself, about your people, man. Give you some more insights, enlighten you about this get down, man, and what we up against, man. If you look at the curriculum in schools, it's not geared towards building the individual spiritually, psychologically, in terms of education, and how to, be, people. Human beings, man. The curriculum is based solely on you becoming a worker. You is doing what you're told to do, period, point blank. And they throw shit in there to make you feel like inferior, to like you have no other choice but to be this way. You know what I mean? But hey, man, those quiet periods, that's something. And you don't have to have no mass following on to do something like this or to get something like this started on this yard. All it takes is individuals, man. Hey, man, educate yourself before you hit them streets, man. 30 minutes. Start with 30 minutes, It could be a documentary, man, about something black, man, about something in the past, something positive, something that uplifts or whatever, man. Give No Jumper a break. Instead of No Jumper for 30 minutes, read a book.
Yeah, exactly. Something to uplift your spirits, man. Put some fat on your brain. Put some fat on your brain.
Real shit. All right, Boss Claw said accountability is something a lot of people are lacking today. A real grown-up is always going to be accountable. That's what I learned, man. I learned that the hard way. Yeah.
And I use that what he just said too above about be running in and out these stoops all my life.
Yeah.
And I never ever pointed my fingers at anybody and said, you the reason why I went to jail just because of this situation or this extended circumstance. No, I took full responsibility for the consequences of my actions, man.
That was
I
yours.
I made conscious decisions to sell dope. I made conscious decisions to shoot at somebody. I made conscious decisions to fight somebody. I made conscious decisions to break somebody out. I made conscious decisions to snatch somebody's purse. So I never point my finger. I always take accountability for my actions and deeds and the things that I did that were detrimental not only to me and my family but to my community.
Okay, now this is off subject, and from time to time we're gonna get this type of get down PT, and that's okay because a lot of people don't really understand the get down. So S is asking, can PT give us all the sets in order they form to put any misinformation to bed?
As far as the Hoovers?
Yeah, I imagine that he's talking about the Hoovers.
So you got the 7-fold first, 8 trays, 9 deuces, the 107s, the 5 deuces, the 11 deuces, the 5 deuces, the 5 nines. The 4 trays that already they came out around about the same time the first originals came out, but they only had one original set. That's why they call them originals. They only had one set.
That's why they call who the originals?
The 4 trays.
Okay.
Because they only had one original set because the whole community morphed into the Rolling 40s.
Okay, got you.
After the little thing with with Judah Bean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, got you. So hopefully, S, that answered your question in terms of the order in terms of the sets from Hoover and how they came to be. All right. Kimberly Mitchell, what's up, home queen? How you doing? Always a pleasure to see you in the chat, sister. You got to know that. She says, hey, Hoover, love going out to you, Big Bub, and the Little Red tagging in today. It's a groovy day above ground. Real spit. Feeling good. I'm in my zone. Rep for the real ones. Love hearing familiar names. Real spit. Love seeing you come up in the chat, too, every week, man. That go for all you guys, man. Appreciate it. It's needed, It's needed. It's appreciated. Shit more than anything, tell you the truth. Okay, what we got here? BWFI say shout out to everyone and happy Juneteenth Day. We need more like you, bub. Keep up the great work. Wish I could hit the thumbs up and like button twice on this one. Hey man, you doing it right now and it's good. You know what I mean? All right, King, what it do, young King? Peace to the guys, man. Hey, I got your text today. I read that thing, man. And I think that's something I want to share, man. As a matter of fact, let me just throw this out here right quick, man. The brother sent me something today. It was profound. I thought it was profound anyway, man. But he wanted me to, he wanted to share with me that he had wrote a short book on, on the black and brown topic. All right. It's called My Enemy's Enemy by IK. So I don't know how. I would like for you to send, give me some means or way to get that out there, man, so people in the chat, especially because I'm talking about it, they're hearing about it, can get a bar of it. All right? You're speaking to, some historical shit, man. You're speaking to culture. You're speaking to people and humanity. So I think, the best thing for you to do in terms of that getting out is sending me something so I can post it on the community chat, because we do have a community chat board and all that, and they can go and check that out, bro. But he end with saying, lead with wisdom. When anyone suffers, someone pays. Pay attention to that. That's some real spit, man.
Yeah.
Love you, King. Wild Bunch 11 Deuce Hoover PT said, ask PT, did he know Chipmunk from A. Trey Hoover, HIP?
He dropped when he was born. He was born in '82. I was in San Quentin.
Yeah, he was a baby. Yeah.
And then when he passed in 95.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there.
When he passed in 95, I was on my way back. I was in the county jail on the way back to the pen on 3 strike tests.
Yeah, and he was just a baby.
He was just a baby. I know who he is, but I don't know him personally. You feel me?
Yeah, real shit.
Real shit. Yeah, that's crazy. You mentioned Chipmunk. We were just talking about Chipmunk the other day.
I just
Dude
watched the thing on him.
was a
I just
baby.
watched the thing on him today. I watched the thing on him earlier today.
What? 12 years old, something like that.
He was 12 years old.
Man, a baby,
12
man.
years old.
Man. King's son says standing on the square means upright living, honesty, and truthfulness. The square represents standards and stability. That's a foundation for sure. That's a foundation for sure.
Right on point.
Yeah. Boss Claus say they're facts, PT. Boss Claus.
Right on point.
Yeah, man. L. Chevy said, much love and respect, Big Bub, from your little homeboy, Lil Lurch. What's happening with it, homie? All right. I'm glad to see you in the get down, bro. Appreciate that. Like, share, subscribe to the live, man. You know, come on in with the comments. You know, I ain't gonna hold you up, PT. You've been on this mug, man, shit for 50 of an hour. God damn. Yeah, all right, shit. You know, then an hour, man. You know, I ain't seen, boy, I still waiting on for you to come hang out with him, motherfucker.
I'll be, bro.
Don't do that.
I'm serious. We all flying out to California on the 19th.
Next month.
Yeah.
All right now.
19th.
All right now. But I'm gonna make it a point.
When I came out there May 1st and May 4th, I was in Long Beach. I wasn't in the set.
Yeah, I know you had business 10 too. Right.
Yeah, so that's the reason why. You know, I was in and out, you know.
Yeah, bro. I can dig it. Yeah, man. You listen, man. Oh, Voo back in the get down. Voodoo, what's happening, loved one? Miss you, bro. Probably hear from you tonight, man. Okay. Voo says, why is the gap of understanding so wide nowadays between the younger generation and the older generation? And how can the gap be tightened? I guess that's a question for you and me, PT. But have at it.
Me myself personally, like I said earlier about the indoctrination of how Nazi Germany did their kids and the ideology that they, passed to them and manifested over the years, etc. Now, our situation is entirely different because probably within the kids right now, I would say between the ages of 12 and maybe 30 years old, what did they come from?
Right.
They didn't learn anything. They didn't learn anything at home with the parents. Most of the things that they know nowadays, they learn off of social media.
They learn from social media.
They venerate social media. They venerate celebrities, and they give energy to all that stuff. I don't entertain that BS. And then you got to look at it from a perspective. Now, you say you got a man and a woman. They both 18, 19 years old. They grew up in a dysfunctional home.
Yeah.
Didn't learn any morals, principles, ethics, or anything in that aspect. And then they have a baby. Two immature people having a baby. So how you think the baby gonna grow up? Lost,
messed up.
That's why I say a lot of these youngsters, they lost souls.
I'm smiling, man. Like as you're saying, is because I can't help but recollect and remember how we grew up. And no matter we had TV, there was television, and we used to call that in the pen the stupid box.
Yeah.
But I recall back then, you couldn't watch too much TV. There was a time and place when you could watch TV in our household.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? From Monday to Friday, wasn't no TV all day, every day. You know what I mean? Saturday, you had action. Sunday, you had action. But I'm saying that to say, we were still being instilled with ethics, with morals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We were being told who to look out for, who not to trust. And when some BS was put out in the atmosphere, we were told that's some BS. This is who you are. This is what it is.
And not only that, but as far as the TV thing,
yeah.
We watch cartoons and Three Stooges and all that, but we used to be outside.
Man, we was
outside. Nigga, I was outside running the streets when I was 3, 4, 5 years old.
Tell the truth, homie.
You know what I'm saying? We was outside climbing trees, stealing peaches and kumquats and jumping in people's backyard. We was doing stuff like that. We were making slingshots out of wire coat hangers.
Yes, sir.
We was making our own skateboards. Putting Briggs and Stratton and Tecumseh 2.5 horsepower engines
lawnmower mini bikes, lawnmower motors and shit. Yeah, man, come on.
Putting them on swings and everything.
Yeah, man. I tell you, and people don't even know how much I would love to just talk about that all the time. Because man, I remember, I hold on to the memories, man. Them with memories, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, jumping roof to roof. You know, I remember getting my ass whooped by the neighbors for doing stupid shit. Took home, getting my ass whooped again. I mean, just, you know, little shit, and but getting the lessons as I got the ass whooping, you know. But you know, the whole community, man, was a part of the family. You know,
Yeah.
it was, man. Like you said, man, we
Listen.
knew every fruit tree. We knew, you
Yeah.
know, we knew how to, you know, we shot marbles. We made skateboards and
Yeah.
go-karts and shit. We was outside, man. We drank from the water hose, man.
From the water hose. And the girls was out there playing girls out there playing the double dutch.
Double
playing
dutch and hopscotch.
Jacks, hopscotch.
Come on, homie.
Patty cake.
Come on, homie. You
So they were
know.
doing all that, man. You know,
Yeah.
we was out there playing freeze tag,
Yeah.
football in the streets, hide and
Yeah.
seek.
Those
I ain't gonna
were the
get it.
best years, man. If you ask me, those were the best years. So
Yeah,
Voodoo,
man.
I hope that answered the question. The bro was saying, man, we're up against, or the younger generation and the older generation are up against a whole lot, man. Social media being the main problem. Creating that gap. Yeah.
It's a weapon. Social
It's a
media's
weapon.
been weaponized.
Damn.
It's been weaponized
Damn.
against us, bro.
Damn.
These phones have been weaponized against us.
Yeah.
When you look, I
Man.
be watching these cop shows and people go to jail. You know the first thing they say, "No, I ain't giving you my phone."
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
phones got people gone because if we woke up tomorrow,
And
they said no more cell phones. Period. These people will be doing just like 1929.
I about to say, like the stock market, jumping off buildings.
Jumping up the windows and buildings and stuff, man. They can't have no phone.
Man,
we didn't
tell
grow
the
up in the era of
truth.
the phones.
Tell the
We grew
truth.
up in the era where you can keep 40, 50, 60 phone numbers in your head.
Man,
People can't keep not one phone number in
Yeah.
their head today.
I saw some.
Everything's in the phone.
I saw somewhere they said our contact was the phone book, yellow pages or the white pages.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day. You remember phone numbers though.
Yeah, and we remember phone numbers. Also, we had the little black book too.
The little black book, man. Everybody had a little black book. Real spit. Hey man, so Mr. Kevin, Lil Zoe Reed, man, what's happening, loved one? Esteemed greetings to Big Bubs and the listeners. Much love and respect, Bub. Likewise, bro. Appreciate you coming in with that get down. You say you're doing an excellent job. I've been a supporter since.
What's up?
Hey, you say it, bro. He hear you.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, Lil Zoe, what's up, boy?
Yeah. He in the chat, bro. That means he listening. But he said you're doing an excellent job, man. I've been a supporter since GU in the community. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you tapping in, loved one. Love to get more of the homies in here, man. Because like I said, and I say this, man, as often as possible, man, ain't nothing dumb about us, homie. I'm
Nope.
telling you, we going through shit. We go through shit. Our people always been through shit. That's what make us some bad motherfuckers, I have to say. You know, we some bad motherfuckers, but we be badder still, man, we get it together. God.
I'm trying to tell you, because we very resilient as a people.
Hey, man, ain't nobody like
very
us.
resilient.
Don't listen to what you hear, man. Ain't nobody like us. Ain't got it like us. They want it like us. You know, they want to be better than us. A lot of envy and jealousy. You know, people steal our history. They'll steal our ancestry. You know what I mean?
All that.
You know, these people are like, you know, shapeshifters, you know, skin, they jump in our skin and sweeping down. They us from way back in antiquity. They lying.
They trying to claim the divinity.
Man, they trying to claim, man. They trying to claim the space of gods and goddesses, homie.
Yeah, you can't
shit.
claim
Can't do it.
divinity being non-melanated, non-carbonated.
Wait,
You got to have carbon and melanin in you.
Say again, bro.
You can't be divine unless you got carbon or melanin in you.
Hey, man, I get on to get down.
We comprise the fire atoms.
Man, tell the truth, bro. We got shit they ain't got.
Exactly.
And just so y'all know, as we speak, they're scientifically trying to figure out how to get our melanin.
You know, don't you know the melanin? They selling melanin on the black market,
Bro. They using it in technology. This is what they doing. So on the show, I touch the skin. I'm talking about something. I'm talking about something they ain't got, man. We got it.
Yeah.
We the only ones got it.
That's what makes us divine.
You know, and that's why they can't get rid of us. That's why they can't kill us off. But they know we can only do that to each other.
You can't kill off something that's original.
Man, come on, man. Now I'm gonna tell you what can though.
Yeah.
We will be the one. See, they know we're the only ones who can get rid of us.
Exactly.
And this is why we see the shit going on that's going on, man. They trying to get us to get rid of each other, man. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been at it for a long time, a very, very long time.
Divide and conquer.
Come on, man. But listen here, man.
Divide
Hey,
and
real
conquer.
spit, man. Hey, like I said, hey, Lil Zo, man, much love, homie. Appreciate you coming in to get down, bro. Really do, bro. That means a lot.
H up, Lil Zo.
Yeah, man. Real shit, man. So, let me see. He said, hey, John. Oh, okay. I see you online. I see you in a few weeks. All right, bro. Looking forward to that now. For real, for real. Okay, Mr. K. Lil Zo says, PT, Mr. Reed, PT, how's the weather out there? This is Mr. Reed, Lil Zo.
Bipolar.
Say it again.
Like bipolar because all right, say today it was 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
15 minutes later it's a thunderstorm.
Whoa. Oh, it's changing up like that, huh?
And then 20 minutes after that, the sun's back out. Yeah, the Texas weather's bipolar, bro. It's very bipolar.
It's changing like some people we know. Shit, change up on you in a minute.
In a minute.
In a minute.
Like Tupac said, in a blink of an eye.
In a blink of an eye. Hey, but hey, look, yeah, devastating deuces for sure, Lil Zo. Yeah, man. Hey, King, I see you, man. Much love and respect return to you, bro. You know how we do, man. And he said, keep stumping, PT.
That's right.
Yeah. Man, Ed says, does PT have any insight on how Hoover Joe's name got mentioned in the Crip song? Damn, that's a good one.
Okay, now.
In the cadence. That's a good one.
The original cadence.
Yeah.
The only people named that are mentioned in the original cadence was Nat Turner and George Jackson.
Whoa.
Now, after Hoover Joe left San Quentin and went home, he called out a violation or something, and he was in the county jail. Because when we had formulated San Quentin machine and James Miller had the Blue Magic and Soledad, people were leaving from San Quentin and Soledad going to the county jail. And, people getting called to the county jail. Their homeboys get them called down there, or they going down there to fight the case, etc.
Yeah.
And they would take all that information from them two pens down to the county jail. And some of them knew the cadence, and some of them implemented new parts of the cadence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how Joe's name got into the cadence. It started in the county jail.
What year was that? Do you recall?
When he went home May of 81, so that was maybe like 82.
Okay. So, okay. 82. In terms of the original cadence that had Nat Turner in it and all that, when was that?
We first started doing that cadence in February of 81. February 81.
Do you remember how that one go?
With Nat Turner's name, it was like Nat Turner, he was right cutting throats day and night.
Oh, right. Got you. Okay.
And George Jackson, it was like George Jackson, strive like him, dare to struggle, dare to win.
All right. Man, we used to be up in 4800. That whole module rocking. Every time the cadence started, it got quiet and everybody was in it. Everybody, I'm telling you. I mean, man, for hours at a time, bro. When I first hit 4800, it was like 84.
Mm-hmm.
Came back again in 86 and again in 87, man. Each time I was on my way back, on my way back. But man, I'm gonna tell you, I felt at that time, even though, at this time also, the clashes and the shit had started to go bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in that moment, in 4800, you could feel the energy. It was one. It was a unit. And it was palpable, man. I'm telling you, I don't know how we didn't build on that, bro. Just thinking about that, man. That was some deep shit. And everybody felt it. Love, respect, unity. We was one. We was one car. We was pushing. I mean, you was from where you was from, but we everybody knew in the time of that cadence, we was on a mission. And mugs go to court the next morning. You hear about them coming beating up on me, whooping on them other people. Just hey man, it was some real shit, man. I'll never forget it. James Cash, he said, Boss Claus, best wishes and blessings, King. I hope all is well with you and Big Cuzzo. Nothing but love and respect, my brother. Real talk, 1000% one. That's from James Cash, boss. Al Thomas, there you go. There you go, man. Always good to see you and to get down, bro. Peace to you as well, bro. And peace to the chat for sure, for sure. Right, man. James Cassidy, Big Bub, and all the Hoovers, Crips, P's and B's, stand tall and hard, stay strong and firm. One. Yeah, that's the mission, homie. You know, that should be the objective, man. You know, we got our tribes, man. We from the tribes we from, but it should still be unity, man. It should be one mission. And mission, man, is supposed to involve all of us, man, that's gonna lift us and push us, you know, to greater heights, homie. That's what I think.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what? I'm speaking on that as far as tribes and lifting ourselves and coming together. We can take an example from Africa right now.
Yeah.
My brother over there in
Burkina
Faso, he bringing. You know, he's like, hey man, we got to keep our resources, man, to these colonizers, man. Y'all got to get up out of here,
man.
And then I was watching the thing today on the African Unity, on the African Union. You know, a lot of them cats, man, they selling their countries out, man.
Come on, bro. They puppets.
You know, they puppets, man. They send the people starving, man. Ain't nowhere in the world is mineral and natural resource that Africa is,
and you supposed to be poor.
Starving.
Come on, man.
But you got these puppet governments and these puppet regimes over there selling the people out, man, and giving away our mineral and natural resources to all these foreign and European countries and China and every motherfucking else.
I think they're the real definition of an uncle. Of Uncle T's, you know what I mean? They the ones.
A straight coon.
Yeah, you know, they the ones, man. Ain't nowhere in the world, but man, the world feeds off of Africa. Without Africa, the world would be nothing. Nothing. There'd be no gold, no uranium, no platinum, no oil, nothing. Nothing, man. Come on, man. Shit is crazy.
I was reading this book. When I was in the pen one time, a long time ago, but it was based on Kenya during the Kenyan Revolution when Jomo Kenyatta was the leader of the Mau Maus.
Yeah, Kenyatta. Yeah.
And I read the thing that they went to a village, right? And they told everybody in the village, they say everybody that want freedom and independence stand up. They say all the people stood up. And then they sat down. And then he posed the question, everybody that's willing to die for their freedom and independence stand up. He said only half the people stood up. He told the people that stood up, those ones you have to kill first because them going to be the ones in your way.
There it is. And that's a harsh reality right there. If it should ever come to that, you got to understand, man, how this shit going to work. Because a lot of us are so far gone, they rather live in abject poverty, you know, under the heel of, you know, colonizers, man, and the whole nine, rather than, you know, stand up and die for something that, you know, they not want for themselves, but for everybody coming up after them. That means their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, whatever. You know, that's a fact. That may be realized. I hate to say it, but hey.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
But like the man said, man, I rather die on my feet than continue living on my knees, man. And I hold that the truth, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
Because I ain't finna live on my knees for nobody, especially for somebody that don't even look like me.
Real shit. I'm telling you, man, I just want to, I want to just talk about what happened today, but I'm gonna tell you what I do with people, what we all should know about these people. They think they're entitled. And I ain't talking about, you know, the ones that Trump fucking over and all this shit. I'm talking about the main ones.
Yeah.
They think they're entitled. They can do anything, and there's no repercussions. You know, there's no consequences, man. And I'm telling you, you're gonna fuck around and find out when you the right one. It's gonna be the right day.
Yep.
Man,
gonna be the right day. Just like when they jumped on that brother at that, what was that, in Mississippi, Alabama?
Yeah. On that dock. It's the right day, man.
That young brother jumped in that water and swam all the way over here and got him, still wasn't tired.
Still had it. Boy, that boy had energy with. Boy, look, that's a warrior. That was a warrior, though. He was on the mission.
Yeah. That warrior spirit.
Real spirit. Man, G-Rock said to PT, he had one of the best interviews last year. Yeah, man. They've been clamoring for you, PT.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, real shit. They've been that. When you bringing PT back? When you bringing PT back? Aubrey
We're gonna do
44 say
something.
vampires and mosquitoes. We know exactly who you talking about, bro. Vampires and mosquitoes. Ken Jackson say facts about the melanin.
Straight up.
Yeah, facts, man. Real facts. Vampires and mosquitoes. That's the only way I want to describe them too, man. Bloodsuckers. You know,
That's it. And that's all.
that's it, man.
Straight vampires.
Burnell Morgan, what's up, homie? Everybody was on some real respect shit. I see you, Burnell. Yeah. Everybody was on some real respect shit. How? When? Why? Come on, talk about it. We got about, man, look, I'm going to keep 100. I got to go and sit with the missus in about 15 minutes, man. But this thing, man, this has been live, man. APT, you know what it is, homie. You already know. None but honor, homie. Honor.
Hey, one thing I want to say about the formulation of any type of organization or structure or anything, that aspect. Like, who would Joe taught me this from San Quentin? It's not about quantity. It's all about quality.
Yes, sir.
Because you can give me 15 dudes that's moving in the same direction on the same accord.
Right.
Mentally and psychologically, they can do more than 100 or 200 or 500 dudes.
Yeah,
that's running around. That's running around on the treadmill.
Real shit.
You know, it ain't about numbers. It's all about quality. Period.
Man, real spit. I want to answer this from Casper at 042. He said, "What's up? Did you ever read Boo Capone's book?" Hey, man, real spit. I'm waiting on the book from Amazon, man. I just ordered it. You know what I mean? I've been real busy. Got a lot going on, but I will have that book. And next time I get on this Get Down, man, I'll be able to talk about the book. I gave y'all my word last week. I'm getting the book. I have ordered the book, man. So we can have that discussion. Hey,
bro, I know one thing.
What's that?
I'm just being facetious though, but because I'm in the book. There's a paragraph about me in the book and my picture, and I told Boo, I said, man, you make a whole bunch of money, man. I need my 10%, bro.
What my cut?
I'm just being
yeah,
facetious.
You being funny.
Bro,
Yeah. He know that. Yeah, I ain't even talked to him on me. He ain't called me in over 6 months, man.
Yeah.
Man, shit. I got to tap in with him, man. I get shit, man. If somebody talking to Boo, tell Boo call me. He got my number. Motherfucker, like that. Okay, man. Hey, man, this is some real shit, man. Hey, PT, like I said, man, I appreciate you coming and get down with us, man. And I'm hoping, well, I'm pretty sure that the people appreciated you coming and getting down with us, man, because the questions speak for themselves, man. They actually, gang of questions. Some questions, let me admit, that was asked, wanted me to, they were posed for you, PT. But I felt they were kind of not necessarily messy, but not, in the vein of this Get Down. You feel me?
Yeah.
About other people in the joint. You know what I mean? The other, Mahindas and shit. So I left that out to Get Down, bro. No disrespect.
Look, I can't say one thing about that as far as the way Upis and Mahindas. People don't think this brown on black thing just all of a sudden popped up. I mean, it was way back in the days, because it wasn't.
It wasn't. That's right.
Most of the dudes that were from the different gangs in LA, 18th Street, White Fence, Florencia, whatever avenues, whatever. We all went to juvenile hall, camp, youth authority, and 30 years in the pen together. We all knew each other.
Real shit.
So it wasn't no funk. The funk didn't come into the mid 80s.
Yeah.
And then it really boiled over in 94 when, certain people had certain meetings and, hey, man, this, that, and the third, with the way Uzi's,
Yeah. But that question was posed towards the South Flows. Did you have any issues with them? Did you encounter them?
Yeah, I never really encountered them on the streets, because we really didn't. We really hung between Manchester and Florence. I used to with the sevens. I used to be on Colden, but I never really was too much on the one way, because most of the guys on the one way, they was on the 7, or they was down there on 81st or 79th or 83rd or 84th.
Right.
But I did get into it with them in the county jail, though, for sure.
Yeah, and most of us did. You know what I mean? That's a given. That's something that we.
When I seen them in the county jail, it was on and cracking.
Yeah, that's just what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facts. But yeah, man. Look, this Get Down, man, and for those that know, those who just come into the Get Down who don't know, Hey man, this get out for the most part. We speak about how we grew up, man. You know, we're not talking about, especially about brothers and the disagreements or any harm or anything of that nature, man. That ain't part of our discussion, And from time to time, yeah, you brothers and sisters might want to hear about Wahopis and Mahindas. We might enlighten you on a little of that get out. You know what I mean? But for those who know, no. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Those who know, no. But hey, man, again, I see you, Burnell. So you asked, I asked that everybody was on some real respect shit, and you answered that right quick. I appreciate that, bro. He said, Burnell Morgan said 4800, everybody was from a different tribe in 4800. Anytime there was a situation, it was dealt with according. After that, it was back to respect. Real respect. Real respect. All right, Boss Claus, I hear you, brother. Another groovy day, man, in paradise, bro. 10 toes down, man, on this compound, man. I'm on this yard. I appreciate being right here on this yard as opposed to the other one, man.
That part.
Live and well, man. We are live and well. King Groove 713. He said, I can dig it, man. Glad you're doing good, homie. I'm about to get my smoke on. Enjoy that shit, man. Enjoy that shit. Hey, man, look here, people. You got some PT for the people?
Yeah. I because briefly, because you're speaking on 4800.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I went to the county jail in 1983, probably August 83. Me and Hall would rest in peace.
Right.
Called a case together. 4800 had just really opened then.
Mm-hmm.
Hall went to 4800. I went to 2300 single man cells.
Yeah.
And you know who I was on the road with?
Who that?
I was on the road with Petey Wack, Keita Rock, Lunatic Frank, Edwin Ainsley, Bam from 111, Crazy A from 111.
All neighborhoods in 60s.
A big new house, he OG from there. I was on the road with all them dudes. Them dudes gave me nothing but utmost respect and love, bro. Matter of fact, when I caught the change Chino to the guy, and I gave Keita Rock my white chucks. And I still communicate with Petey Wack right now.
All right. There it is, man.
See, a lot of people don't understand the relationships that we had way back in the days with these different sets that everybody think that we got funk with. I don't have funk with none of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they older homies. Everybody kicked it together, bro.
Yeah.
All this other stuff is late on in the game, BS.
Yeah, the other shit is our generation shit, And we after we got to the joint, we started learning, that you guys really had relationships with a lot of cats. It was already, the dust was already kicked up. You know what I mean? But to this day, I interact with individuals, man, from neighborhood, from 60s, you know what I'm saying? Blood brothers, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Raymond, you know what I mean? We have a relationship, man. I respect them, man, as men, So, if anything, man, we can get anything out of this, man, it should be the understanding that, man, we have history together. We have history together, man. We are connected, no matter how you look at it. No matter how you look at it. If you want to look at it from a man's perspective, so be it. You'll find that somewhere in this, any dude that you cool with family knows somebody from somewhere else. You want to look at it from a female's perspective, they got babies by cats from all over, man. They got relationships, they brothers, they sisters. You know what I mean? We're connected, man. So if you're going to take anything from this conversation, take from it the fact that we are unified, man. We are together. We one. No matter how you look at it, we from different tribes, but we the same people. We the same people, bro. There it is there. Commonality. Shit. Boss Claus say, Keita Rock is my guy. All right, there you go, man.
Yeah, that's my dude, man. That's my dude.
Yeah, Burnell Morgan say Tiny got out and went to visit Petey Wack, the homie Tiny. He got out and went to visit Petey Wack. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby Chino say Chino Guidance Center, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. We gonna end it on that, man. APT, like I said, bro. Always, you already know, man. Go without saying, bro. But I'll say it anyway. I love you, homie, and I respect you, man, to the fullest. You a guy that you know what I'm saying. Hey, man. Any advice you have, I'm taking it because I know it's solid.
You know,
That's
I
right.
know it's solid. I know you don't tend to. You are the guy you are because of that square you stand on. I respect that, man. I
Straight
appreciate it.
like that.
And I'm trying to have that
Hey.
same foundation.
Yeah,
You know?
hey man, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Man,
You know,
it's beautiful.
cause I have a little bit to say. You know, we just touched
Yeah.
on a few topics tonight,
Yeah.
but you know, we can talk about A, B, C, D, E, all
Man,
the way to Z.
EFG,
You know
boy,
what I
look
mean?
at. I can't wait till you get to town though, cause man, I'm bringing the studio, man. Let's chop it up, man. We may have a drink and chop it up, man. Let's do what we do.
For sure.
Let's do what we do.
And everybody in the chat room, I appreciate you.
Man, there y'all go, man. Hope y'all heard that, man. Yeah, Boss Carl say stay blessed, man. Stay elevated.
All the time,
You know, all the time. PT say get PT on camera. That baby Chino say get PT on camera more. Hey man, as soon as his ass get here.
Yeah, I'm in Houston, y'all.
This a real one. I know y'all could depend on to come get and hang out with us, man. For sure, for sure. Ain't gonna give you solid shit from the square he stand on, man. All right, that said, man. Hey man, I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Like I say, man, all the time, man. I mean this from the bottom of my heart, man, from my soul, my spirit, man. Take care of yourself, man. That way you'll be able to take care of each other, man. But you got to take care of yourself first. Do right by yourself, man. That way you do right by somebody else, man, especially in the time of need, man. All love and respect, man. Power is in the people. You don't give power to the people. It's in you. The power is in you, man. So peace, love, and blessings, man. You have been, you are, and you will be under the groove, man. Peace. All right, man. Damn, PT.